So this is a little bit of an odd duck, this performance, I understand. I like to think of it as the platypus of the performing arts world. It's a little difficult to classify. But like all biological organisms and cultural phenomenon, this show has an origin. It comes from somewhere. And where it came from was a biologist who challenged me to write evolutionary rap songs for the Darwin Bicentennial, and the collection that you will be hearing today came from that moment, that challenge or commission from a scientist. It was a good challenge. I didn't really know I was going to do it first, so I went and researched the archives, because I was a hip-hop head. I'm from Vancouver, Canada, listened to rap music my whole life, so I went listening to all my rap music to see if I could find any that might already have evolutionary themes. Maybe someone has walked this path before. Luckily, yes, I could stand on the shoulders of giants with this one. So here's a rap group that's already explored an evolutionary theme. They're called Dead Prez. Dead Prez had a song called I'm a African. Now, when they wrote the song I'm a African, their intentions were not entirely evolutionary at the time. It was more like revolutionary. Dead Prez are black nationalist rappers. They're like the hip-hop reincarnation of the Black Panther Party. So in their version, in the song I'm African, they make this very explicit argument in the lyrics. I'm going to paraphrase their argument. It goes like this. Black people around the world have a common heritage in Africa, and that common heritage gives them a common identity that supersedes or transcends whatever country they live in today. They might live in America or Britain or the Caribbean, it doesn't matter, because they're African under the skin if you go back 500 years. Now, when Dead Prez perform this Afrocentric black nationalist song at live concerts, an interesting thing happens. They do this call and response. They go, I'm an African! And the crowd goes back, I'm an African! And if you look really close, invariably you're like, holy shit, there's white kids in the crowd. There's Asians in the crowd, and Jewish people and Hispanic people. And it's multiracial. What's going on here? Is that kind of like everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day, so everybody's African at a rap show? Well, ironically, in this case, yes. Everyone is literally African, and not just at a concert, but everywhere else, because evolution teaches us that all living humans on the planet have African ancestors. Our ancestors only left Africa between 50,000 and 60,000 years ago. Before that, Homo sapiens were all in Africa. So all racial diversity is that recent, 500 or 600 centuries. And Africa is the only place on the planet that all 7 billion of us have a common ancestor. If you go anywhere else, you're going to leave somebody's ancestors out. And that's not nice. See what this means is? Dead Prez were attempting to write a politically and racially exclusive rap song. But somehow they unintentionally wrote the most inclusive song ever written in history. So what I want to do is treat this like a folk song from the homelands for all of us African expats in the house. I can see a few, and we're all going to sing it together today. Heartwarming, isn't it? Now, a few people in the crowd right now, I can see, are looking a little tense. That's just understandable. Think of it as a social experiment. I'm going to break the ice. I'll go first, okay? So I'm going to start out by shouting, I'm an African! And when I say it, part of your brain is inevitably going to go, ew, look at him, he's clearly white. That's wrong. But another part of your brain is going to go, damn it, he does have a point. And the second part's going to overcome, because that's the rational part, and then you're going to shout, I'm an African! Back to me with just as much enthusiasm, because you're going to feel it deep in your DNA. So that's where it all comes from, Africa. But this whole concept is based on science. And in science, we can't take anything on authority. You don't just take people's words, you check. So a third part of your brain is going to make a mental note to go look it up later after the show. Wikipedia this shit. But for now, just give me the benefit of the doubt, okay? This has been independently confirmed by multiple branches of science. Archaeology, genetics, microbial genomics, they've converged on this absolute fact. We know this as well as we know anything in science. All human beings have an African ancestor. So we're on safe ground here, guys. All right, let's try this out. Don't leave me hanging. I'm an African!
I'm an African!
Damn right, and I know what's happening! Yeah, pump your fist just like that. All right, louder. I'm an African!
I'm an African!
Hell yeah, so I know what's happening! Awesome. So, before we actually start the song, I just need to make one clarification. In case we have any hip-hop novices in the crowd, note that the title of the track is actually I'm a African. Now, I hear a few people shouting, I'm an African. Excellent grammar. But look, these are grammatically rebellious rappers too, okay? They understand phonetics. And phonetically, you can't pronounce this grammatically properly without saying, I'm an African. And we're not Nafricans, we're Africans. You gotta create that drum rhythm, that do-do-do-do-do. I'm an African. You gotta make every syllable pop. So, no matter how middle class you might feel, I'm asking you to go hip-hop with me right now. For phonetic's sake, you have permission. You're gonna have to overcome your grammar school classical conditioning that makes you pronounce it properly, and you're gonna have to try to override the autopilot and read with your eyes and not with your brain, all right? We're gonna overcome all of these mental blocks together. All right, let's do this. Of course, the next challenge is gonna be for all of us quote-unquote Africans to try to say this chorus on beat. Yeah, warm up to it. Feel the drum? Yeah. Nod your head. Alright, let's do this. I'm an African.
I'm an African.
Damn right, and I know what's happening. I'm an African.
I'm an African.
The archaeologists taught me what's happening. Are you an African?
I'm an African.
Then say it loud if you know what's happening. I'm an African.
I'm an African.
Yeah, geneticists know what's happening. No, I wasn't born in Ghana, but Africa is my mama. Cause that's where my mama got her mitochondria. You can try to fight if you want to, but it's not gonna change me. Cause it's plain to see, Africans are my people. And if it's not plain to see, then your eyes deceive you. I'm talking primeval. The DNA in my veins tells a story that reasonable people find believable. But it might even blow your transistors. Africa is the home of our most recent common ancestors, which means human beings are all brothers and sisters. So check the massive evidence of Homo erectus and Australopithecus afarensis in the fossil record, and then try to tell me that we're not all connected. The fossil record has gaps, but no contradictions, and it complements the evidence in your chromosomes. So I came to let you know about your ancestral home. I'm an African.
I'm an African.
Damn right, and I know what's happening. Say, I'm an African.
I'm an African.
And say it loud if you know what's happening. Are you an African?
I'm an African.
So spread the word to the world what's happening. Cause I'm an African.
I'm an African.
Yeah, geneticists taught me what's happening. And every human on this planet is an African. So everybody needs to know what's happening. Spread the word.